Hello students, hope you are all doing well. Today in my geography class, first I will be recapitulating the terms and the terminology which we have started since the beginning of the chapter. I told you before also that what are resources? Resources, those for gift of nature which are found in our earth to satisfy human needs when they are economically feasible as well as culturally acceptable. Next, apart from that, the second point which we studied was that how there exists a relationship between human beings, technology and institutions. How the three components of this are interrelated with each other. Since they are interrelated with each other, they formulate the basis of the resources and development. The more the country is able to utilize the resources with technology, the more the country will develop. Vice versa, those resources where the technology is there but economic power is missing. Somewhere the economic power is not there. They do not have the capital resources with them. We find that the country is in a developing stage. India is an example of developing stage where we find that the resources are immense but in the relation with the resources, we are not so much economically viable as compared to the developed resources like USA. After that, I taught you about the classification of resources, that how resources are classified into 4 types: on the basis of origin, on the basis of ownership, on the basis of stock, etc. Renewability. Now, moving ahead, we will talk about that how there was the resources which has created a demarcation of line between haves as well as have-nots. Have, those who possess all the natural resources and they are the owners of natural resources. Since they are the owners of the natural resources, they have easy access to these resources and they constitute the rich strata of the society. Whereas the large proportionate of the people are the poor strata of the society who are deprived of such natural resources. They are totally dependent on the rich strata of our society for their livelihood, for their jobs, as well as day-to-day expenses dependent on the wages which they achieve from the richer strata of our society. With this recapitulation, I hope I am quite clear with my explanation. Children, before starting with my new topic, it is my humble request to all of you that whenever I teach you, whenever I give you an explanation, please go through the NCERT book for better understanding. Each and every question is important. Please make a note of it. After the completion of the chapter, I will be giving you the notes. But before that, please have a clear clarity in your minds about the various things which I have taught you in this particular chapter. Moving ahead to a very important topic, that is land resources. As the word suggests, resources which are found in land. Those resources which are a unique feature utilized by the human beings. Why did I say the unique feature? Because they are not utilized by plants, they are not utilized by animals. It is a unique feature along with technology, unique or the unique selling position of the human beings, where human being occupies the central position in extracting the resources according to their needs. When we talk about the land resources, we find that resources are basically divided into several subparts. We will not be going into the several subparts. We will go to the main three division where the land is divided into major three landforms. What are these landforms? Why they are important to be studied in this particular chapter? Well, when we talk about the land resources, we find that these resources are found in the various landforms which are prevalent in our earth. Now, what are these landforms? These landforms are mountains, plateaus, as well as plain areas. As soon as I tell you about mountains, the first thing which comes in your mind is the big mountains which are there in the north of our country. Yes, the Himalayas of our country, which are in the northern part of our country. Himalayas play a very important role in our country in controlling the ecological balance, especially the temperature and the weather of our country. Apart from this, these Himalayas are very much important, which safeguards our country from the western disturbances and the western winds which come from the Mediterranean Sea. Apart from that, one unique feature which is to be remembered in this point of time is that when we talk about the mountains in the total earth crust, we find that in our country, we find that earth possesses 30%. Needless to tell you or to remind you that when we talk about the total land mass of our country has 3.28 million square kilometer. This is the total area of our country, India. When we talk about the percentage, we find that out of 3.28 million square kilometer, 30% area is that area which has taken place in our country in the form of huge mountains. Why did I emphasize on the word huge? They are the huge mountains with a peak on its top. Now, the question arises that what is the importance of these mountains? Are they so important that they require a special position in the country? Yes, you are absolutely right. When we talk about the mountains, mountain has contributed to the flow of perennial rivers in our country. When I say perennial rivers, I mean to say that these are the mountain ranges which are covered with snow. And when they are covered with snow, when the sun rays fall on them, we find that they take the position of the rivers. Rivers which are the lifeline of our economy as well as our country. The second important aspect of mountains is that mountains enhances tourism of our country. Wherever the various hill stations which are found in our country, in the mountain peaks as well as the ranges like the Shimla, like Ranikhet, Almora, etc., they possesses a significant aspect of tourism which is found in the mountain ranges of our country. Third and last but very important aspect is that mountains contribute to the ecological aspects of our country. Ecological aspect means that whenever there is a moderation or the change in the temperature of our country with the global warming, mountain plays a equilibrium in the ecological aspects of these mountains. Second, when we talk about the plateaus of our country, please, it is very important for me to differentiate here between the mountains and the plateaus. As I told you, mountains are big mountains with elevation on the top. Whereas plateaus are basically tableland. What do I mean by tableland? Tableland means a land which is plain. Anything which is uprooted from the land automatically or geographically, it is known as the plateaus. When we talk about the percentage of plateaus, we find that our country plateaus are in the 27%. They are found, 27% plateaus are found in our earth. When we talk about the contribution of plateaus, we find that in the plateaus, we find the occurrence of various minerals which are very important for the development of our economy. Apart from minerals, we find that various fossil fuels are also found in the plateaus only. Apart from that, we find that the major forests are also found in the plateaus region. The third and very important part of our land resources which is the plain area. When we talk about out of the total land surface, that is 3.28 million square kilometer, we find that 43% of the plain area is found in our country. This 43%, we find it has the highest rate of population. Highest rate of population means here the plain area in our country. What are the plain areas? Haryana, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand. This is a plain area of our country. When we talk about the plain areas of our country, we find that the maximum amount of the food grains which are grown in our country is done agriculturally in this particular plain area. From this plain area, the food crops are being circulated or distributed in other parts of our country, as compared to the plateau as well as compared to the mountain region. We find plain area has the maximum amount of population, and this population is required for the growing up of agriculture along with the expansion of industries. It is very important here to relate agriculture and industries. Agriculture and industry goes hand in hand. They are complementary to each other. Whenever a raw material is taken from agriculture, it is proceeded further in the industries to make it as a final product. These industries is also found in the plain area because of the geographical factors which are found in this particular area. With this particular thing, the classification of mountains, plateaus as well as plain area, I come to the end of the explanation of this particular area. Hope you are quite clear with it. This is talking about a very important question which will be coming. And what is the question? The question will be, what are the various aspects of land resources? Where you will be writing, if it is a 3-mark question, you will be writing from 100 to 120 words, where you will be emphasizing on the various landforms, what is the percentage of these landforms, along with what is the contribution of these landforms in our earth. Children, please remember that whenever there is an explanation, you can always come forward with the coming up of a pie chart or a pie diagram which is being given in the NCERT books, which clearly emphasizes the plain area 43%, mountain areas 30% and plateau areas 27%, contributing 100% of our area. Children, it is very important that when we talk about the total geographical area, out of 3.28 million square kilometer, here we find, which is the total area of our country, we find that the total geographical area means that area where we find the geographical factors contributing to the resources and its development has a major role. I will be discussing about this land utilization in the next class. I hope I am quite clear with the understanding of land resources. Thank you very much.